Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. Pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway, and in the driveway is a...
Know what time it is? You know what time it is. It's double trouble time. That's right. It's double trouble time. I'm half of the double trouble. All right. I'm Jared A. Brown, and my twin brother is the other half. And we interview the brightest minds in the digital marketing space. So if you don't know, now you know. All right, so I am super amped, super excited. We're going to be talking about mastering the money mindset. We have a super guest today, and if you haven't already, crush that share button. All right, don't be stingy. All right, don't be stingy. We need your help. All right, crush it. We're going to be interviewing Liam Arthur. All right, just outside of Glasgow, and someone from Scotland who's very happy about his football team winning. By the way, so we're going to be talking about the mastering the money mindset with him. My twin brother, I'm going to bring him on, and we're going to be doing this interview, and we would like you to help us get this word out. We're here to inspire people so that we can help them master the money mindset. So if you want to help yourself or someone else master the money mindset, then crush that share button. All right. So anyway, here we go. My brother from the UAE, I'm going to bring him on, give him a very warm welcome. All right, so co-host time. Co-host!
Hey, what's up? What's up?
What is up? What is up? What is going on?
I'm pumped. I'm pumped. I'm
Man,
so
it's
excited for this.
I am too.
Yeah, I mean, our guest today, Arthur. I've been so excited to discuss things, the money mindset with him. With each of our guests, when I interact with them in the very beginning, they have certain questions like, hey, what sort of questions are you all going to have? And his right off the bat was, what's the topic going to be? And I said, well, you know what? That's usually based on the guest. So, you
Right,
pick the
right.
topic, we'll go from there. And so he chose the topic today of mindset and master. I was like, okay, yeah, let's master the money mindset. And
Let's
so he's
do it.
like, great, let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about it because that is something that is so hard to calibrate your mindset when you come into this online space.
Oh, for sure, bro, because it's totally it's against the grain, so to speak, because our brains are just very naturally looking for negative things. That's just how our brain works. And so it goes against how our brain works to try to look for things that are either positive or productive. And so it you have to work at it and you have to exercise to actually become very good at it.
Right.
And
It
so
can
it's
be in a
going to
way
be very exciting.
right. It can be in a way like a paradigm mindset shift.
Mhm. Absolutely, just like that. So,
All right, let's bring
hopefully
our
he's
guest on,
still in a
bro.
good mood. Yeah, hopefully he's still in a good mood because of his football team having won. But let's bring him on. All right. Again, everyone, please crush that share button. And I'm bringing him on right now. So give him a very warm welcome in the comments section. He's going to bring it today. Liam Arthur.
Guys, how's it going?
What's up?
We're going for the guns.
Man,
Cut off a bit too much.
That's right.
That's right. So I mean, your
Sorry.
football game just ended not too long ago. It just started at 11, close to 11 p.m. your time, right?
Yeah, 11 p.m. It's almost into the next day for me now, so very late.
And you probably scheduled this live broadcast around the football game so you could still watch the football game and then right afterward do this with us, right?
Oh yeah, of
That's
course.
what real fans do. That's what
Yeah.
real fans do.
Especially when we've got a chance of doing well. Like I'm not going to miss that.
All right.
Right.
And that was a like a pre-qualifier for the UEFA Cup, right?
Yeah, so it's pre-qualifying for the European Championship. So it's all the national teams of Europe, the best of the best. We are currently sitting top of our group, so we're ahead of Spain, which is unheard of. It's been the best start we've ever had to a qualifying tournament, so it's a good time to be a Scotland
Wow.
fan.
All
Yeah.
right, that's awesome.
I'd say so
We're
too.
huge, sports fanatics. Now where your football team just played against Cyprus. Our American football league, the regular season just started yesterday, and so that was a big thing for us as well. Hello, Saskia Coles. She's tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. I love it when the comments just start flooding in. That's awesome. All right, so you were able to set up two destinations to live stream on your platform. Which destinations did you choose to stream on?
Yeah, so I chose just my regular Facebook profile with the followers on there, and I chose my own private Facebook group, which is called the Lions Den, because
All right.
the brand is Celtic Lion Digital. So that's into there as well. So that's all my dedicated followers are watching as well.
Very
That's
nice.
what's up. That's
Very
what's
cool.
up, man. That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
They ain't used to me being on it this time. Usually I'm in my beddy time of this, but yeah, they'll be a bit late for them. We'll be a bit surprised, but yeah,
Right.
Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully
So
we
do
have
you
people
normally have
who may be commenting from the.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
do
should
you-
have support from the Lions Den. I'm work quite early in the morning, so I'm usually up 5 a.m. for work, so therefore I don't. I'm not up at this time. I've got two young kids. I don't get to sleep. I don't get to stay up late. That'll be one of them now, actually.
I hear you. I'm normally not a person who stays up late either. I mean, Monday through Friday, I have to get up between 4:30 a.m. and 4:45 a.m. You know, because be out of my house and on my way to work by 6 or just before 6 a.m. And Jared's the same way. As a matter of fact, I think he gets up earlier than I do. I think you get up close to like 4 a.m. There we go. All right, that must be
Right. I mean,
from your Facebook group right there, Liam.
Yeah, I mean it's on a Friday it does change. This is usually whiskey time on a Friday, but yeah, we've saved it for a little bit later.
All right, now, okay. So
on here,
as
here we have.
as
Okay.
we were discussing, we right before you came on, you chose the topic, right? And we're going to digress. This is not a structured, rigid, scripted format, right? We'll digress. We like to bring a little bit of levity and humor to the broadcast. But you chose the topic for this broadcast, right? Maybe you can expound on why you chose this topic.
Yeah, for me, mindset is the glue. You need
Okay.
the mindset to do all the rest of it. Like you could be excellent at sales, you could be excellent at content, but if you don't have the mindset that's focused on about it, mental stability, mental resilience, it kind of
Mhm.
crumbles. You can't create any longevity. And decades, however long, of entrepreneurs will kind of show you that they've all had one thing in common: it's being an exceptional mindset. So without it, the rest of it falls apart. And from someone who's had to battle their own personal mental demons as well, and had to work in capacities of speaking to people who have been at the absolute worst, that side of the mind in someone's life is hugely, massively important to me. So I put a lot of focus on it.
Right. Okay. That's boom. Right away. Right out of the gates, you're dropping some value bombs, my brother. Oh.
Value bomb. Boom.
How do you sometimes go about, because this is something that has to be done on a daily basis, and you have to start early from this. I mean, when I'm saying early, we're talking as soon as you wake up, you're calibrating the mind, right? Feeding it with
Yeah.
positive energy and positive vibes, and just basically tuning out all negativity as much as you possibly can. So, what are some of the ways that you started at the beginning, or maybe this started for you in your 9 to 5 job? You were letting me know when we were first chatting online that you're a police officer at your 9 to 5, right? So,
Yeah.
did it start with your 9 to 5? This sort of mindset mentality.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. Like a huge part of what I did when I was in the street a lot more on a daily basis was dealing with people who were pretty much at their lowest absolute brink of like not wanting to be on the planet anymore. And there's something eye opening when you're speaking to someone at that point, because it's not
Right.
something a lot of us do. Because a lot of us, when we speak, we don't get a chance to speak to people at that point. It's usually too late. But when you're faced with that on pretty much a daily basis, it kind of opens your eyes into how the mind works and how fragile it can really be. Like all of us are just one bad day away from completely crumbling, and it's having understanding, be able to create that armor that you're needed to keep your mind in a safe place.
Awesome. Wow. That's well said. Yeah. I mean, one bad day away from having everything crumble. And that's so true. I mean, I can't tell you how many days I've had where I've thought everything is crumbling. So that's relatable.
And it's
Very relatable.
It's especially prevalent in the modern age. If we think back to decades ago, to like sort of our fathers and mothers, yeah, life wasn't great, but it was much more simple. Like the man went to work, he went home, he had dinner, went to bed. The women stayed home, cleaned, looked after the kids, went to bed. There wasn't anything else. There wasn't other social pressures as much. There wasn't the social media aspect. There wasn't people who were posting their lifestyle for others to go, well, I want that lifestyle. That didn't exist. So therefore, in the modern
Right.
day, having a strong mind is more important than it's ever been.
I totally agree with that because in this modern day age, we can call it the digital age. It's changed in so many different ways, because it has an effect on us, this digital age, in every way, whether we like to admit it or not, that a device
Mm-hmm.
is always in front of our eyes, whether it's their smartphone, or a laptop, desktop,
Yep.
but uh, we're always looking at a device, and it's usually a smartphone, and so as a result, we are, whether we like it or not, we are dependent, reliant on a
For
device,
sure.
right? I got so frustrated a few weeks ago, man. I had to totally redo a lot of the Wi-Fi boosters in my villa here in UAE. The buildings, your villas, your homes are made out of concrete, and as a result, the Wi-Fi signals sometimes don't travel through the walls very well. And I literally have to have like a Wi-Fi booster almost every room. Otherwise, you'll hit like those dead
Wow.
spaces where you lose Wi-Fi connectivity. And so I was redoing
Mm-hmm.
all my Wi-Fi boosters, and one of them used to be able to do it just by connecting to a website, whether you were online or offline, right? And now everything needs or requires you to have an app, right? Every time you turn around, a company wants you to
Right.
download their, right? And so
Right.
the Wi-Fi booster, what was it, TQ Link? It wanted me to download an app instead of go to their website. I'm thinking to myself, well, what if I can't connect online to do this, right? What if I don't have online connectivity? And that's the reason why I need the Wi-Fi booster.
Yeah. It,
Just
it's just
imagine where
age,
we
man.
would be in life right now, right? From our banks to almost everything, if we lost
Everything.
internet connection.
Yeah. The machines would take over. It'd be Skynet going live.
Honestly, and the children today wouldn't know how to live.
No, like that's one quick way to cause mass panic in your house. Just pull the Wi-Fi plug out.
Right. That's how I
Go, here's a
discipline
stick,
my
go outside and play with
son.
that. Mine's are 3 and 5, so I've got that to look forward to. But I'm already way ahead.
Right. Right.
I
Uh-huh.
keep up to date with tech to make sure I'm ahead of them. That's my job, is to make sure I'm ahead of them when it comes to tech.
That's your job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, literally, there are toddlers, babies and toddlers that are just handed devices to keep them preoccupied now. Instead of putting them in like a swing and in front of the TV to keep them preoccupied, people just hand their toddlers devices. So they're learning at the earliest age to become reliant on a device, in front of their faces.
Yeah, it's amazing like how impressionable kids are. It goes by whatever they're handed at the young age. Like for me, I was I was handed all like VCRs and phones, like old cell phones, and a screwdriver at like 2 3 years old, and would just sit and take it apart. And that became like the early days of just like taking things apart and fixing them and putting them back together. Whereas my kids have got a tablet, so they just sit there and just. But it's good for so many things. It's good for education. It does have them a lot more advanced. However, it does create that
Mm-hmm.
addiction to the devices as well. So it's a fine line we kind of have to be careful with. But that's the age we're in. We have to adapt it, and that's how
Mm,
life goes.
We
exactly,
do.
and adapting it. And adapting is a pretty good word for it. And when did you first step into this arena, begin this journey in digital marketing, affiliate marketing, man?
So yeah, I think for on and off, probably about over a year ago, I'd started to kind of look at a couple of things. Like I never did anything massively. I did the usual, looking at what's
Okay.
what's F by A by Amazon, what is print on demand, what is Etsy. Do I have anything I can do with that? And you know, Unfortunately, the skills of a police officer are not transferable to the online world in terms of, well, I can't teach people how to arrest folk online. That doesn't work. So I didn't have the skills, or at least I didn't think I had the skills necessary to do a lot of those things. Like, I wasn't that great. I've never been artistic. Musically, yeah. Art, not a chance in hell. I can barely draw a stick man. So therefore, I basically just looked around to see what's going to suit me best, what's going to be ideal for me, and it was about kind of September, October last year that I was started speaking with Jamie Gardner, who I think loads of folk will know from SAA. Started talking to him, and it was after having conversations, realizing there was a lot of skills I can bring over, i.e., things like from communication of being a police officer, having to be able to communicate effectively and efficiently. I've also spent 15 years with a coaching background, whether it be sports or teaching other police officers, things like that. So I've had a teaching background. So there's two really good skills that I've already mastered that I can take into the online world. So how can that be applicable? And then just started kind of getting on camera a bit more and getting a bit used to that, and then having conversations with people and finding out what their weak point was, and then turning that towards the sort of strength side. And that was like my kind of early days from pretty much day one when I started affiliate marketing. It very much became more of a support role to others, and that was what I took an interest in. Basically, whatever program I was interested in, I would purchase it, read through it, learn it, teach it. And that's
teach it.
That's pretty much always been my way.
So even from the very beginning, the program that you joined and the mentor had an emphasis on teaching it.
Yeah, for me that was something that suited, that was right in my wheelhouse when it came to skills I already had that were easily transferable. The sales side of it wasn't so much, but the fact that I can talk to anyone about anything offline because of the things I had to deal with, it meant it was very easy for me to have conversations with people online. I didn't have, any preconceptions about it. I honestly just didn't give a shit, to be honest. I would just say, so you're not cool, right? See you later. Do you not want to sell it? I don't care. That's always been my message.
There you go. Right. Hey, move it along now. Moving along.
Yeah. It's either for you or
I can't help but visualize that maybe your 9-to-5 job kind of helps you with this, talking to people, interacting with people, since you do that, during the day on a daily basis, talk to strangers.
Yeah, like it's not a job you can shy away from. Like you're forced into a situation where you have to talk to people. Like you can't stand there and say nothing. People are asking, people are looking to you for help, and you also have to choose your words very carefully, because it's how it's going to be perceived by that person. How you communicate with one person won't work for another one. I remember this was a good while ago.
Interesting.
A CBT coach that I spoke to, the cognitive behavior therapy, spoke about how we all have our own individual worlds. Now, the way I communicate will be different from someone at the next door. We're both from the same areas. We're both English. We can be both male, same age. However, my style of communicating will be different from theirs. And then what you have to do is you have to step into someone else's world on how they communicate, how they perceive things, and then bring them into yours slowly but gradually.
So in other words, kind of like step into their shoes and find out what life is like walking in them.
Yeah, and the way I've always been is I always try and match someone's speech. So if like you guys, it's not a non-Scottish accent, so therefore I slow mine down. I enunciate a lot more than I normally would. However, there's people in Scotland where my accent would completely change.
Yeah, just let it flow.
There would be a lot more curse words involved. It's just whatever is comfortable for them, because it's easy to build rapport very quickly when you almost kind of mimic to an extent.
Right, I hear you. I'm used to that as well, because I work in the Middle East, and here in UAE there are a lot of people that come here to work and live. So there are actually like more expatriates that come here than there are locals that live here and come from here, right? And so we meet people from all sorts of countries. They come from everywhere, Actually, one of my better friends here is from Scotland. I have friends from Australia, South Africa, London, all over the place. And so I've made it a habit, especially living in the Middle East for well over 20 something years, that when I speak to people, it's not with my natural accent. It's with a very clear, easy to understand accent. So people, there's
So we
no.
have to enunciate everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I I'm making a habit of trying to avoid slang and just to the point
Yeah,
where sometimes I even forget to even use slang.
yeah, like so it was one of my kind of private clients mentioned it earlier today how they can tell when I'm tired because the focus goes on trying to change the accent and make it easier to understand, and the slang words come in, and it gets harder to understand me the more and more tired I get because I can't focus on it because I'm too tired, too exhausted.
Right,
So
right, right.
To put forth
it,
the effort.
yeah, it just becomes blah 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 to them.
So Liam,
Right?
I'd like to go back though to a statement you had made just minutes ago, is that based on whom you're speaking with, you change the way you speak, and I think that's powerful because just like you had stated, there could be two males from the same city, same town, and they could have, you could speak to them totally differently despite having grown up in the same, area, region. And sometimes that's based on personality.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's based on, the family that reared them, right?
Yeah,
It's so many different things. And so, as a police officer, how do you read that? What are some things that you've learned to be able to read people where you can say, well, this person is like a totally dominant personality, so I'm going to have to be very blunt with this person? I mean, how did you learn to read people to be able to speak to them differently?
yeah. Therein lies a bit of a separation when it comes to the digital world because in the real world, body language is the biggest giveaway for me for reading. Like
Right,
I'm
right,
things like looking at people's hands, are they clenched hands, are they relaxed hands, is the jaw up, is it down, is it clenched? So all those things are all giveaways. Is this someone who's going to be compliant? Is this someone who's going to look to fight? Is this someone who's going to
Yeah,
look to run?
you
So
give you some props.
all the time I'm always analysing. When it comes to the digital world, the way I have to adapt that instead is I don't do much of the talking. I let someone speak, and I usually try and engage by things like pitch and words to use. Um, you can get a good read from someone by listening to the type of words they use, like past tense,
mm-hmm,
present tense, how they speak about themselves, how they speak about others. You can get some sort of idea from that. Like, that's why I quite like a lot of face-to-face stuff. In the early days, I did a lot more sales calls. That's kind
right.
of out of now due to time constraints, but being able to understand someone's speech pattern is highly important because it gives you a good read on them as well. And it's not just about how they speak; it's the words they use specifically as well.
There you go. Awesome.
Very
Uh,
interesting. Yeah,
and
it's a value
so
bomb.
where do you at the very beginning of your day, before you come on to shift, and where do you draw your inspiration for positivity?
Usually a cup of coffee. That pretty much does it. You know,
Do you-
yeah, like it's I pretty much do have to set a good. I do use an alarm app that works really well. That it goes off, it's really loud, and then to stop it, I have to complete a puzzle. I have to do 20 squats, and I have to walk for 5 minutes, and that gets me alert, ready to go. I do affirmations are a little bit of my day. I don't do it to any massive extent, but it kind of sets me up for the day. I think the fact that I do enjoy my job helps massively. I think if you go to a job that you fucking can't stand and then you try to come home and go online, it's really difficult.
Yeah, and it can be
Really
right,
toxic.
difficult.
very
Yeah,
difficult.
I agree.
Whereas I enjoy my job.
I
So
love my job too. I
That
go to my,
helps.
I totally enjoy my job. I really don't look to leave my 9 to 5. What I'm looking for is just retiring early. That's my goal, is to retire at 60. I don't want to work till I'm 65 or 66, 67 years old and then only have the life expectancy in the US. I don't know what it is in Scotland, but in the US,
A lot less.
it is only it is only 77 years old. And we Americans would be lucky to live that old because most of us are unhealthy, and obese,
Yeah, I think the recent one was life expectancy in Glasgow's 57.
Wow.
Oh.
But that's generally down to alcohol mostly. Like that's the biggest killer in Scotland.
Wow.
We don't get any sun. There's nothing to do but drink half the time. But like that's
Yeah.
life expectancy in Glasgow is pretty low. Again, that's all depending on your lifestyle. To a massive
Over like 2 months ago, approximately, I was on holiday vacation in Dublin, visiting my sister-in-law and her family, and the grocery stores there do not allow people to buy alcohol before like noon.
Come on.
Yes, 10 a.m.
For
And
real?
I had to laugh. Because in my head I'm thinking I can only imagine why they had to come up with this law.
Because there must have been a problem. There must have been a problem.
Yeah, because everyone was usually drunk by noon. Like in Scotland, you can only buy alcohol from the shops from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can't outside of that you can't buy it.
Oh, wow.
In other words,
for me was
if you're
eye-opening.
looking to cure
That
hangover with another drink, you're going to have to wait till 10 a.m.
Well, all they do in Scotland instead is we just buy it the night before. That's it. So one of the big things we have here is when it comes to this is kind of going a little bit off topic is we have like the Celtic Rangers divide, which is massive in Glasgow. And at the risk of losing fans, I am on the Celtic side of things. Every single match between both of them is midday. We don't get late on that to give people less opportunity to be drunk before the game starts. Now, it used to be 3, but it get moved to midday, and all that happened was everyone just started drinking earlier instead. So instead of people getting up and drinking at 10 a.m., they just got up and started drinking at 7 instead. That's
Oh
it.
no!
Like, doesn't make a difference.
All right, so we have he goes by Magic. He's in the UK right now, tuning in, and we have a
shout out to Magic.
Yep, that's Heather from my group. One of my
that's from your Facebook group, then.
Yeah, she's not paired it up, but well, we know she's used her name this time. Usually, she just sits in the background dropping little emojis.
All right, I love seeing all the comments that kind of trickle in, and thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in live. So yeah, drop a comment, #live if you're tuning in live, and if you're watching this on the replay, drop the comment, #replay. Thank you so much for the support. Along this journey that you started about a year ago is what you were saying, right? I started actually in September 2022 myself, right? And who has been your biggest influence, or who have been your biggest influences along the way so far?
It's
besides us.
When, of course, it's strange when you come into this world because you don't know people, so therefore you'll be speaking to people who are much higher up, and you don't realize how high up the food chain they actually are.
Right.
Is when you get into more. Like I've never been one that was business minded before. Like for me, it was very much I've always been like a kind of hard graft type person. Like policing I've done for over 6 years. I've been doing different jobs, football coaching, sports coaching around there. So it's never been business minded. But in terms of influence from then, like the first big influence, it was probably Jamie Gardner, and then obviously guys like Jacob Karras kind of fall into that as well. For me, I'm a big fan of people from like Group Juice, like Nate and Flip from Group Juice. They're 2 guys I work pretty closely with and help out massively with what I'm doing. On the higher end of the scale, you've got guys like Alex Hormozy, you've got guys like Taylor Welch as well. All these names I did not know at all before September.
Right.
Had no idea who they were, had no idea how much money they made, and thought that is ridiculous.
And so there's this Canadian guy that I bumped into months back who shares the same name as mine, except for the middle initial, Jeffrey Mark Brown, right?
That sounds somewhat familiar, I think. Yeah, I think I might have him added because when I went to type in your name, Jeff, it came up with his.
Yeah, and his name pops up. Yeah,
but,
and he's also a Denver Broncos fan,
right? And we're huge
for the
Denver Broncos fans because we were
for the
born
NFL,
in Denver, Colorado, right?
And so this other guy is also a Broncos fan. It's crazy.
I have an affiliation to the Boston teams. It's the kind of Scottish-Irish connection.
Sure.
So it is things like Patriots, Browns, Celtics, which is natural. So don't judge me too much on that. But that's
no, it's cool.
I stick to those Celtic roots all the time.
All right.
So
So our guest last week spoke volumes about you and gave you some mad respect props. How well do you know Claire McManus?
Pretty well. Like Claire's been on my group as well, talking about Facebook stories. That was one of the kind of trainings we did, and we both have good, similar personalities and match up really well. So I've got a lot of time, a lot of respect for Claire. She's incredible what she does.
Too.
I like people who are blunt and to the point. I've never been one for filler or fluff. I would rather if somebody thinks I'm an arse, says
hold on a
second.
second.
I like to get to the point quick.
Liam, let's reiterate that and say that loud for the people in the back.
People in the back.
I can't remember what I said.
You prefer people who are blunt because you don't like the filler and the fluff.
Yeah, like one of the things that when I first got into online space, one of the things that really annoyed me was sitting watching like a 1 hour webinar that did not answer anything. It was just super hype. I don't know what they were talking. I don't know what they were talking about.
And you walk away from it thinking, I was hoping to learn something from this, and I don't feel enlightened. And did I waste my time, or do I feel smarter or dumber?
Yeah, like you just go, what the fuck was that? And it's just a bunch of it does get frustrating, especially for
recognizing people who are in the chat. You know,
it's frustrating as well because especially like folks like us that you work full time, you have a very small window of time to actually do things, implement and learn something. And if that 1 hour is completely wasted on a pile of shit, you get so angry with it. You go,
yes.
Well, and I've learned more from a 30-second Alex Hormozy clip than I have from half of those things.
Yes.
Right. Because he is to the point, and you know, and if he does gatekeep, it's only because he wants to have somebody who's totally determined and wants all in. But he is to the point. This comment threw me off. Sorry.
Pass off further.
This one. Right.
And
say
you gotta love the poop emoji, right? When it's applicable and it applies, use the poop emoji by all means.
Throw it in there.
I'll have lots for you. I'll have lots for you on Tuesday, Heather.
But so the mastering the money mindset has some merit when you're following these, whether it's Alec Hormozy or somebody else like Andy Elliott or some other people that teach you something that's valuable, and many of them have that common denominator where they talk about having a winning mindset and starting from the morning and having it all throughout the day, whether it's listening to something like a podcast or meditate, do whatever you need to do, but that's got to be something that you do daily, because everybody knows that if you stop practicing it, it's just how our brain works. We're going to innately focus on negative, and it's not because we like negative. Nobody does, but it's just how our brain will absorb negative stuff. That's why the news becomes too we consume it, right? We consume the news because they know that we'll be hooked on negative stuff, right? There was a fire in
I think it's human
downtown.
nature. And that's why I try to steer completely clear from the news, whether it be social media, the internet, or TV. And I think as much as we possibly can, we need to recognize the positive things that happen in our lives. The small wins,
Celebrate the
and
positive.
celebrate the small
Yeah.
wins and cling on and latch on to the positivity, as much as we can. I have like a 35-40 minute drive to work each day. So I try to listen to motivational speakers, podcasts, just to get me in and to uplift my mood and to put me in a positive mood.
Yeah, and like most of the things on Blinkist, which is an app that breaks down books, they're like 15,
Okay.
20 minutes long.
I've
So
heard
you
of
can pretty
that.
much you can have like a shortened version of a book complete in 20 minutes. So if you've got a 40-minute drive,
Yes.
that's it. Means it's 10 minutes,
Uh-huh.
so it's a little bit trickier. I'll sometimes
Right.
just do an extra couple of circles just to get the book finished. But like you find ways of getting those things in. Like for me, that was the first big mind shift change I made was using my time effectively as best as possible, and realizing that I can't undo 30. Well, I'm 37, so we just turned 37. I can't undo 36, 37 years of behavior and habits in 2 days. It doesn't work like that.
No,
It's not
it
going to
doesn't
take
work
that
like
length of
that.
time
You're
to
right.
undo it, but it's not that's why we say you have to keep it consistent. It's the same with when it comes to anything. Your digital space, where if you're a content creator, you're putting stuff out, or if it's podcasts, it's not going to work after one shot.
No.
Nothing does. So
Right.
you have to put it over a long period of time. I think it's Hormozy that says it best,
Right.
like 100.
And so
100
it's
days
a matter of giving yourself that sort of
100
outlet.
days. Is that what
It's
Alex Hormozy says?
not
100
a
days.
race. It's a marathon, and so along the way, you've got to feed yourself with positive nourishment to strengthen the mind.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And that was the big thing for me, was come to just realizing that I've got a lot of habits I want to undo, but it's going to take time to do it. And if you allow yourself that time, it takes a lot of pressure off. And I think because there's a lot in this online space as well of people saying post a 15-second video to make 50 grand this month, probably not going to happen. But it creates this false idea for a lot of people. Instead of going, why don't you give yourself a 6-month to a 1-year time frame to learn the skills? And most folk that I've spoken to in online space who do exceptionally well, that first year was definitely the learning process. Then it all started to boom off.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't allow themselves the time to learn, implement. You can do it a lot quicker, but I always think if you're trying to push it too much too soon, it's going to collapse.
Right, and each person may be a little different, because of our personalities, our personal experiences in life, so we adapt at different speeds. So you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And if you're putting in those actions, you'll get success as a byproduct anyway. But just allow yourself that time to not be so hard on yourself. I think we're so negative, but we're also really hard on ourselves and expect too much at the same time. So it becomes this really unhappy balance. And back to what you said about celebrating the small wins, that's something I was really guilty of. I've always been a head down, get stuck in, got on with it, move on to the next thing. Right, cool, I've done that next. Allow yourself the opportunity to celebrate your wins. Allow yourself the opportunity to feel good about something you've achieved. If it's your first piece of content, brilliant. Most people never do that. If it's your first email, great.
Yeah.
If it's your first sale, if it's $5 or $500, who gives a shit? It's better than what most folk do.
Yes. Absolutely.
Give yourself a break.
I'll never forget. It was October last year when I started my YouTube channel, and YouTube has always been my favorite social media platform versus TikTok, Facebook, and I have learned to really like YouTube. It used to be my nemesis, my arch enemy, but I really like YouTube. And so at the very beginning, I remember getting these notifications of certain milestones, and YouTube will send you actually it's like TubeBuddy or vidIQ, things that you sign up for. They'll send you these notifications of your milestones that you're hitting. Like even if you're hitting 50,000 views, let's start at 10,000, then 20,000. So right away I was learning, hey, these are milestones. Recognize these milestones, celebrate them, and I was like, that's how life always should be. Recognize all these different small wins, these small milestones, right? And let them, don't let them go to your head, so to speak. But too often than not, we will latch on to negative things and we'll let them affect us, in a very negative way.
It can ruin your whole day, right?
Our day is shot, or the weekend, the week is shot,
Yeah, like for me, in my experience, and from people who I've worked with, there's very much a huge connection between the sort of negative side of things and your sort of like childhood as well. Because if you've been, this is what usually separates, because I did a lot when it came to sports psychology, because that's what my degree is actually in, even though I'm a police officer, my degree is in sports.
Fascinating.
Sports
yeah.
So I have the idea of the winning mentality. The big thing that separates elite athletes from the ones that don't is usually the father figure in the household that's pushing and driving. It's not always positive because you get ones that are over the bearing, but having that sense of achievement, yeah, this is excellent, and the motivation to drive and go forward and celebrating your wins. A lot of people don't have that, so therefore it's the opposite in a lot of households where, well, why are you doing that? That's stupid, that's shit. Tends to be the majority. And it comes into adulthood with people they're doing this in the online space. I want to be a YouTuber. Well, that's fucking stupid. Is what most folk would say to you. But
yeah,
when you're in that space and other people are in that space, they go, no, like you can do this. There's so much more. Just don't listen to that shit. We're in that small portion that will lift people and raise people. But if you've had that all the way through childhood, you're in your 30s into your 40s or 50s, and you're trying to do the online space and you don't have that yet from your community, it's really difficult because you're just going to be pulling all that stuff, the childhood, right up into the modern day. And you're going to, the first troll that comes online that says something is just going to completely kill it off. Mine's a different
You'll be buried.
Mine's a different mentality because I'm used to people calling me all sorts on a daily basis. There's nothing
on a daily basis.
There is nothing anyone online can say to me that I have not had said worse at point blank, followed by a big spit in the face. So therefore,
you've heard all the names in every book tossed out your direction, right?
Yeah. So that creates some sort of mental resilience as well. But for the normal person, the everyday person that doesn't deal with that, that's a big killer because it basically brings you right back to some point in childhood where you've had something similar.
Right. Why did you do this? Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you're stupid or something.
Going,
kind of thing.
So moving forward, when you're talking about, having that mindset and focusing on the positive things like this and stuff like that, I think that creates more than just a one good day, which it can be. One good day is great. Good day could create 2 good days, and all of a sudden you've got a good week, so on and so forth. So that's good. But what are some things that you do to visualize, to keep it in your mind so you don't forget? What are some things that you do to keep it on the forefront, so to speak?
Yeah, like I've got this is just a big green screen, but I've got like my 10K award that I got for Ultimate Market Mastermind when I achieved that. So that's there to show that I've achieved a milestone that the biggest majority of people don't. So I've done something, I've achieved something. That's hard to get to. Some people will never get there. Cool. So I know stuff and I can do stuff. That's fine. So that's like the constant reminder that that I do kind of know what I'm doing, but also keeping me somewhat grounded to go, well, I'm not where I want to be yet, and I'm always learning and educating. Like I've got things like I keep little post-it notes and stuff like that to try and keep me more centered. The
There
biggest
you
thing
go.
for me, and it might,
I mean, we're older than you, I'm sure, Liam, but yeah, that's old school post-its, right? Uh,
yeah,
Writing down notes, writing things down physically instead of, typing in some sort of note on your phone. However you have to do
yeah,
it, whether you're using, the people have these digital planners now, whether it's Notion, or Trello, but
I've tried it. It doesn't work for me. I have to. So anytime, so if I'm currently going through a whole roadmap thing for folk, like kind of low ticket stuff. I have to write in a piece of
I'm
paper
the same way.
before I put it to a spreadsheet. If I'm working on my scheduling, because like my oldest is now at school, so my hours have all changed to how long I can spend online. I write it in a
Okay.
piece of paper, then commit it to digital form, so I can see it, so it's all tidy. Because my writing looks like shit, but I have to write it down. I have to physically see it written
Right.
before it can come to fruition.
Even in school or whatever I do to learn something, I learn it better and I can commit it to memory better if I'm writing it down. That's just me personally, and so I learn it better if I'm writing something down than just reading it, and glancing at it, in a digital planner. That doesn't work for me. I remember it better and I learn it better if I'm physically writing something down.
Yeah, like there's things I've had to learn and adapt. So like I'm currently going through an assessment for ADHD, which is probably going to be highly likely. I'd be surprised if it's not. So keeping my focus can be really, really difficult. And when you're watching pre-recorded videos, I really struggle to focus for 1 hour of watching that video solid. So if it's broken down in modules, that first of all makes it easier. I'll just do it in increments. If that's not a possibility, the biggest thing I do, and this is a little tip for anyone who struggles with focus, I will imagine this is a live stream I'm watching. So if like this just now, if I'm watching a video and it's just you guys, but it's pre-recorded, I would imagine if I'm watching it live.
Okay,
And
interesting.
you're looking for me to, and you're as if it's a Zoom call, as if I have to respond at some point. You're looking for me to respond. You're looking for me to give you
Okay.
attention, and
Interaction.
it kind of centralizes me into that mind of I'm speaking to someone and they're telling me, they're teaching me something, so I have to respect their time by listening to it,
Mm-hmm.
and that helps me watch longer videos. Without it, I struggle.
Interesting.
I veer off. I'll pick up my phone. I'll do something else. I just can't have the attention span for that. So I need to
Mm-hmm.
get into that frame of mind before I can sit down and learn something like that. So which might be useful to
Fascinating.
certain folk out there watching if that's something you struggle with.
Right.
I'm
And
sure
so
that would be very
I guess
helpful.
for each
It's a respect
individual,
thing.
yeah, for each individual, it may be a little different, but we need to learn what sort of tools we have at our disposal that will help us learn things, adapt and move forward on this journey at a speed that we're comfortable with. We shouldn't go too fast. Maybe sometimes we have to like pause things, step back, analyze. Instead of just going at it full throttle.
I have Heather. You maybe weren't listening. I've not talked about it a lot, but like if you're learning new skills, you have to learn what you're learning. So figure out what your learning method is. Some people are auditory, where visual doesn't help; they need to hear it. Some people have to write
Yes.
it. I've never been a good I've never been a good note taker. Even at school, I would just listen and try and
Mm-hmm.
memorize it. That was pretty much always my way of dealing with things, and I did okay. Not the best, but I did okay. So everyone, you have to figure out what your learning style is, and you can go into Google and look for a tool of what is my learning style, and figure it out. So when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
anything you're learning online, work that out. So if it's a YouTube video, just listen to audio, or if it comes to it, download the transcript and read the
The
transcript. If that's what
transcripts,
your
right?
learning style is,
Oh,
there's
Whatever,
loads of way of learning.
yeah, whatever documents come with it, yeah.
I'm a
That
visual learner myself, so
Yeah, like I can like for what works for me when I'm trying to learn something, especially if it's like when it was early days of trying to build funnels or using Canva when I didn't really understand it much, is I would watch the video through, start again, then watch it while I was doing it, and that ingrains it, and I pick up really quickly. That's if I want to learn a new skill, I'll go into YouTube to search how to do it. If I want to learn how to fix something, I'll go to YouTube, watch the video. That's how you fix that. Cool, right? Let's do it at the same time, and then that's when you learn a new skill. That's how I pick it up. Works for some people, doesn't work for everyone. But once you figure out what your learning style is, it can be massive, massive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I 100% agree with that statement. Well, very well put.
Me too.
If you were to meet some people coming into this make money online industry, this digital marketing age right now, right? What would you say to them as sort of for advice, right? Knowing what you know now that you didn't in the beginning.
It's going to sound a bit counterproductive, but for the first 6 months, don't try and make any money. Don't try it. Just learn and test and see what's going to work for you. The chances are you will probably make some as a byproduct of it because you'll be doing the right things, but don't try so hard. People focus so much on the quick result that it falls down. It could either be you're fucking up your sales calls because you're rushing to the end, or you're rushing your content, or you're rushing your videos, whatever you're putting out there. It can be rushed. It comes across as desperate. If you think of it if you think it is your kind of probationary period of work, of a job, that first 6 months you're learning it. Think of it in that sense is the first thing. And the second one would be document your journey. I didn't document my much, and I wish I did. That's probably my biggest regret is I didn't document enough, and I still struggle to document things. But because if you document from day one, there'll be people who'll be following you from day one who will continue watching your journey. And as you get to month 6, month 8, month 9, month 12, whatever it may be, they go, okay, I'm ready to start. I've watched you for a year. I've done nothing for a year, but you've done shit. So I'm going to follow you now and you can show me. And documenting your journey helps pull those people in. Because there gets this point where you'll get people like Alex Hormozi or Jamie or Jacob and all those ones who are into the 7-figure bracket.
Like,
and you go, well, that's
Jamie
sort of
Gardner, and are you talking about Jacob Karras?
Yeah, you'll see those guys that are up in the 7-figure bracket. You go, well, that's unattainable. I can't do that, and it feels like it's too far out of reach. But for you, as being someone who is documenting the journey, who's maybe a few months down the line hit their first 1,000 or their first 10K, and people start to watch it, I go, okay, well, it took you a year to get to that, so I think I can do that. And then it seems more attainable to someone in that bracket than the
more realistic,
the big shot, the big ones out there. Yeah, like Alex Hormozi said, I won't work with you unless you make $3 million a year. I go, well, fuck that then. No chance.
Exactly. Right.
But you forget it takes a lot of time. Yeah, it's not an instant thing.
So coming right into this, then, what you would tell the people is, hey, take your money, take your eyes off the money or the prize, right, and keep your eyes on the goals and the vision, right?
Learning,
which is hard. It is very difficult, especially if you're are in a position where there's a lot of financial troubles. I appreciate that a lot of people are in that situation because that's why you start to go online. But if you try and remember, it's not a quick fix. There's loads of things out there that are a quick fix, usually like selling something that you don't need. It's an easy quick fix. But this is not. This is a business. This should be longevity, not a quick 1 year and you burn out.
Okay.
So don't find the shortcuts.
Another thing here, Liam, which is what we like to ask our guests, if you were to speak to some people coming, new into this online space, what sort of things would you debunk and demyth right now and tell them, hey, this is not true, this is true?
That's pretty much what most of my content's about. There's more than one way to skin a cat. You can set up a funnel if you want. You don't need a funnel. You can do ads if you want, but you don't need to do ads. You can do an email list, but you don't need to do an email list. Find what's going to work for you, what you enjoy most, what you could do every single day consistently. If you can't put out 8 pieces of content every day, then don't fucking do it. If you can only commit to 1 piece a day, then do the 1 piece a day. Like, there's so much round about these things of like the TikTok thing of you need to put out 8 TikTok videos today to go viral. So no, you need 1 good video that's decent, and you don't always have to go viral. You speak to your audience.
There you go. All right. Boom.
Boom,
Value
boom, 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 boom,
Liam,
boom. Dropping
what
some
you said is
bombs.
so true. It's like too often we think about, hey, is my video going to go viral? How many views am I going to get? So that's vanity thinking. One of my mentors always reminds me, say, take your, never mind the views. Just talk to your audience. Let them get to know you personally and who you are.
Yeah, it takes time for these platforms to figure out who you are and who your audience is going to be. It doesn't happen in one day. So when you just start, a lot of the people that your content gets pushed to are people who don't care about you or anything you're doing. They'll never have any interest, will never buy anything, will never come near you, don't give a shit. So once you start to
Right.
put content and more of the people who are interested start to follow you, the algorithm knows it's smart. It's not a dumb machine. It understands where that content should be placed. So it'll start to get to your people, but you have to do it on a pretty regular basis. You have to make your message clear. You have to speak to your audience, and there'll be people who are relatable to you that will come in. Now I'm very blunt. Some people don't like that. I can be quite harsh and to the point. Some don't like it. Some do. I don't care. It just depends on what your thing is.
Right.
But stay true to your voice. Put
Yes,
out
be
your message.
authentic.
Make your message clear. Don't fucking say on a Monday you need to do funnels and then on Tuesday say you don't need to do funnels. That's confusing as shit. Stick
It's
to your
so confusing.
message. Stick to your make
And
it
be
clear.
consistent with that message.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said. Liam, it has been awesome. You've dropped some major value bombs. In fact, we've had one of your followers from your Facebook group comment here.
Yep.
I don't know. The emoji's hard to see, but it's a bunch of bomb emojis. So
Yeah.
value
Yeah.
bombs aplenty. So mad respect, admire you, and I'm really glad that I could do this interview today to kind of get to know you a little bit. And the cool thing about doing these live interviews is you do get to know people, and I like blunt and direct people because those are the kind of people I actually trust sometimes more easily because I know at least I may not always like what they're saying to me, but I always know they're going to be honest
Honest
with me.
and authentic and genuine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Like
You know
that.
what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. 100%. That's definitely my kind of
yes.
people. That's the people I tend to be around. But like, if I would rather if someone's got a problem to say directly to me, I'm not going to get. I'm not made of paper. Like you can tell me anything you want, I'm not going to get hurt by it. But I'd rather people are upfront and honest than hid and had some sort of ulterior motive or just bullshitted the whole time.
Yeah.
That's right. Shoot it to us straight, brother. Don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
Be a straight shooter. All right. Well, thank you so much again. Thank you very much for coming on the Double Trouble show. And we'd like to, have you back again some other time, either as a co-host or maybe to celebrate some sort of win of yours. But I'd love to have you back again another time, brother.
Yeah, it's I just want to say thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honour. It's been a lot of fun, and I really enjoy this kind of format because most of my lives is just me talking. I don't really like the sound of my own voice very much, and I like I like the format of back and forth. I really enjoy that. It's a really good format. But yeah, like thank you so much for having the show.
Absolutely.
All
Our
right, brother.
pleasure. Our sincere
And
pleasure.
next week, we're actually going to have Jamie Gardner as a guest on our
Jamie
show.
Gardner.
So please tune in next week if you get a chance and opportunity to do so.
Yep, there'll be probably plenty of value bombs jumped in there as well.
Yeah. Yes,
I'm sure
indeed.
plenty. There'll be plentiful.
All right. Well, thank you again. Have a blessed day, brother.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Take care, guys.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. All right. Wow. I'm so excited that we had Liam on. When I looked at his profile and saw, the Celtic digital, stuff that he has going on, the Celtic Lion digital stuff, super impressed. already, because his message is very clear, which coincides with what he talks about, because he talks about being concise, and I liked his message because it was super clear.
Right. It's a clear, consistent message that brings clarity to the table. And it's like, hey, people, don't, and let's underscore this, take your money, take your mind off the money, and keep your eyes and your mind on the vision and the goals that help you accomplish that vision, that your destination, man. And the perspective that he adds from his experiences and his 9-to-5 job as being a police officer, those perspectives
wow.
are so enlightening,
Very unique. Yeah, very unique perspective he has. Definitely very unique. I like that a lot. Also liked how he talked about speaking to people differently based on their personalities and so on and so forth.
Their experiences in life.
Anyway, yeah. So anyway, hey, thanks for getting up early, Jeff. I know it's probably it's extremely early where you're at. Want to say thank you for everyone else. Yeah. Thank you everyone else for having tuned in, and tune in again next week. And we appreciate all of you. Peace. All right. Where's that outro? Do you have it? Where'd it go?
Your finger's on the button.
Oh.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway, and in the driveway.